Late night TV may have hit a brand new low with Jimmy Kimmel and Stephen Colbert altering their audience reactions to the peace deals in the Middle East, giving the Orange Man faint praise and then slamming him on a national stage. So what did they have to say and how bad is it? Well, folks, we've got the video. We'll show you how the articles declaring a truce between late night and Trump are completely untrue. Hello, folks, and welcome back. It is a joy, it is a pleasure as we endeavor to explain entertainment, keep you ahead of the culture curve. It's a passion, it's a zeal that even the Holly weirds can feel. Folks, as we dive in, click the like button and let's get to it. Late night TV is waging war against El Trumpo, and they're going to places that are so low, you won't believe it. From The Hollywood Reporter, Jimmy Kimmel and Stephen Colbert give Trump credit for the ceasefire finally did something positive. However, I'm here to tell you that James Hibbard, he may be a nice guy. He might be trying to see this glass half full, but they were not in any way positive. We'll play Jimmy in just a minute. But before we do, let's go down. We'll read the first paragraph, and then I'm going to go down to what Stephen Colbert had to say, because we're actually going to play Jimmy. Jimmy Kimmel and Stephen Colbert gave their reactions to the Gaza peace deal on Monday night. Both late-night hosts conceded that the Orange Man successfully helped broker a breakthrough ceasefire that resulted in Hamas releasing the remaining Israeli hostages while still finding plenty of other things to criticize the president about. Let's go down to what Colbert had to say. Colbert, who was off last week, opened with a breathless rundown of all the news he missed. Get ready for this. You ready for this? This is not Pro saying this. This is Colbert. The government shutdown is headed into its third week. Trump fired more than 4,000 federal workers. The DOJ charged New York Attorney General Letitia James with fraud after Trump's pressure campaign. Trump sent troops to Chicago and Portland and is threatening to invoke the Insurrection Act. Trump announced a whopping 100% new tariff on China, which caused the stock market to have its worst day in 6 months. And Taylor Swift dropped her new album. 90% negative for the Orange Man from Stephen Colbert. That's the reality he wants you to believe in. Then Colbert got to the peace deal. He had quite a lot to say about it. Oh, sure he did. After all that, there is some good news out there today. It's like the Berlin Wall coming down and these people saying, you know, there was some good news. Thanks to Trump's newly brokered ceasefire, all living Israeli hostages and almost 2,000 prisoners have been released, Colbert said to audience cheers. It's important. Credit where credit is due. Donald Trump did something good. Colbert then paused and the audience remained silent. You see what they did there? Because you need to understand, guys and girls, the way this works is they have these monitors up on the screen, these screens above the audience that tell them what to do. Cheer, applaud, boo. And they got to do it. They got to be like seals. Or else you don't get to be part of the audience.
Right. They'll just refilm the segment if you don't do the thing.
Exactly right. So the whole joke here is for Colbert to jump through the hoop and say Donald Trump did something good, and then have an awkward silence from the audience. It was all planned. And then Colbert followed that up with, "Are we still canceled? You sure? I tried." It's kind of surprising to see him do something good. It reminds me of in Empire Strikes Back when Darth Vader revealed a shocking secret. There you go. So that was actually how they handled it. If you think that's positive, think again. Let's go to Kimmel now, because they say Kimmel was being positive. I don't think so. Here's what Kimmel had to say about the peace in the Middle East. Historic.
What a day for Donald Trump. You know what? He finally did something positive today, and I want to give him credit for it because I know he's not the type to take credit for himself. Trump was in Israel and Egypt today to celebrate a ceasefire between Israel and Hamas. All 20 Israeli hostages are home after 738 days. Almost 2,000 Palestinian prisoners and detainees have been released. And while we're only in the first phase of what will undoubtedly be a long and tricky process, the fact is the bombing has stopped, the hostages have been released, and Trump deserves some of the praise for that. And so I know it sounds crazy to say, but good work on that one, President Trump. Now maybe you can not invade Portland. Just an idea. I
mean, do you guys hear how that was played? Mm-hmm. They applauded more for the joke about Trump not invading Portland than they did for the ending of the Middle East crisis and Trump being the broker of it all. Mm-hmm. Marvin, your thoughts on how, I mean, listen, the Hollywood trades are trying to spin this and say that late night was kind to the Orange Man. Now, I don't know. There's two ways we can take the conversation, Marvin. When you talk about why the Hollywood trades feel like that's the way they want to go, why that's the defense they need, or maybe what we need to talk about is whether or not late night really was. You take either angle you want to go, Marvin. Which way do you want to take it?
So I think the reason why the Hollywood trades are trying to position Colbert and Kimmel as, aren't they just great guys? They're the good guys here. They really are. Look, they're not saying the actual part, which is, Kimmel and Colbert, pretend to give Trump praise as set up for punchline, which is exactly what that was. Like, it's all just a setup for a joke at Trump's expense. But you know what? They at least acknowledge that he did it, which is more than Elizabeth Warren did. So more power to them for that.
But Marvin, she had been making calls for years for that to happen, and it just manifested that way for her on Indigenous Peoples Day.
She finally got to speak to the manager over there at Israel.
That's a good line.
She heap big mad. Like to talk to you now.
All right, so let's see, folks. How did Kimmel keep going? Okay, because that's what we want to know. We want to know, did Kimmel, because it's a historic day, right? This is a very rare thing in human history, and we hope that peace holds. That would be amazing. Be tremendous. Let's just skip ahead randomly. I promise. I just skipped ahead randomly. Let's see what Kimmel was talking about at the 3-minute mark.
The Norwegian government, they was worried about Trump retaliating against them if he didn't win the Nobel Peace Prize. And the woman who did win, Maria Corina Machado, was maybe a little nervous about it too, because she felt the need to call him about it.
The person who actually got the Nobel Prize called me and said, I'm accepting this in honor of you because you really deserved it. A very nice thing to do.
So, I mean, that's legit. The political opposition leader in Venezuela dedicated the Nobel Peace Prize to Trump, and now Kimmel's making fun of him. Okay, just skip ahead again, folks. I'm randomly doing this.
After all this, he got the flu vaccine, he got the COVID vaccine, he ate a whole bottle of Tylenol, and he washed it down with a gallon of red dye number 2, while RFK was screaming and crying and pounding on the door outside. And if you're wondering if...
Still about Trump, this is Jimmy Kimmel.
Instated a few days later. And on behalf of those of us who work here at Jimmy Kimmel Live, we feel you. We've been there ourselves. Welcome back.
So it's nonstop.
There are plenty of things in the world to make jokes about right now. He only focuses on the president.
Yeah, he's hyper upset. I mean, it was 10 seconds of praise for something historic with the audience not applauding, and then back to the normal same old on a historic day. Now, they can do that. I'm not here to say what they can and can't do. I'm here to say that from a market standpoint, folks, when he has lower numbers than he had before he was taken off the air for the national tragedy lie, not going to be a surprise to me. Not going to be a surprise to you, because I can view that and go, there is no market for that. The number of people in America who on a historic day like that want to tune in and get that instead, it's got to be tiny. It's got to be a tiny number of people who are that venomous that, you can have peace break out across the Middle East and they say, no, feed me my Orange Man bad cereal, please.
Exactly. When it comes down to it, they're only focused on one thing. It really seems like it's not that they're driven by principles. It seems like he's driven by hatred of the other side, and that's really the problem. So they have to begrudgingly accept when they see how and when I say they, I mean leftists, not general liberals here. They begrudgingly have to accept that in order to appear like a human, reasonable person. They've heard that they need to say that peace in the Middle East, an impossible goal being achieved, is something that they probably should say something nice about. I wonder if Barack Obama might, with his Nobel Peace Prize, which I do believe that he nicknamed it Drone Strike, in honor of his favorite Transformer. I wonder if he might think about dedicating his Nobel Peace Prize to Donald Trump as well.
Well, Obama did comment on the ceasefire and clearly just forgot to mention the president.
Yeah. It just slipped his mind. Folks, we could stop there. We could rain on the parade of Stephen Colbert and Jimmy Kimmel and just
rain down like a. Never mind. I'm not going to make another Barack Obama.
A biblical. Joke. Yeah. We'll stop droning on this, Jonas. Let's stop droning on. But what we will do, folks, is we'll go somewhere that you might not have expected, might not have anticipated. I want to draw a contrast. Okay, we just showed you in high fidelity the level of non-integrity that they have at late night TV, whether it's Colbert or Kimmel. Let me show you what people have been drawn to, because late night and the legacy media have lost to the new media. So what is the new media? It's not some amorphous, thing that we can't identify. It's stuff like this. It's Scott Adams. Scott Adams is battling what is perceived to be a terminal disease, and he's the author of many books, and he is, of course, the artist behind and comedian behind Dilbert, hyper popular comic strip that's been out there for decades. And Scott Adams got emotional after peace has been delivered to the Middle East, and we hope it holds again. We can't make any kind of predictions, but for now it is. I want you to see what Scott Adams has to say, and I want you to compare this. Now, Scott Adams is definitely the new media, risked everything to be a transformative voice in the new media, and I want you watching this man who has achieved so much and has a terminal disease. We don't know if he has months. He thought he wasn't going to make it this long. We don't know if he has months or if he has years, but he's made it long enough to see this. And this was his reaction. As you watch it, folks, view it through the lens of a comparison. How did Colbert and Kimmel respond? How is the legacy media responding versus the new media? And as you watch it, look for the authenticity, because the authenticity is why the new media is winning.
It wasn't easy. But every one of you who's watching right now probably shared a little bit in that pain. Probably every one of you said, you know what? You're not going to tell me who to vote for. You know what? You're not going to manipulate me. You know what? I'm going to do what I think is right, and I'm going to follow this all the way. You all did that. All the...
Let me just pause here for a minute and tell you, because of this man's support for a political figure, they took his comic strip that had been one of the most popular, top 5 comic strips in the world. They yanked it out of the newspapers. I mean, they tried to destroy this man. Keep paying attention to the authenticity comparison here.
All the MAGA supporters, you all took a personal and professional risk for the benefit of the country, and you knew that it was going to cost you dearly. You lost family members, lost your daughter, somebody says. Yeah. A lot of you lost family members. You lost friends. You lost jobs. It cost you money. And you were right. In the end, you were right. You bet the right way. So,
pause there. Guys, I go back to you on this now. That's the comparison of the legacy media to the new media. And Scott Adams is genuinely, authentically emotional because he has lived to see the day that his decision to make his political choice, and I'm not affirming or denying anybody's politics out there. I'm not trying to be political. I'm trying to give you an accurate assessment of how this is playing out in the market. This is why people are tuning in, because this man who has survived to see this is emotional looking back at the sacrifices that he made, but peace was achieved, at least for now, in the Middle East. And for that, this man is brought to tears with gratitude. That's the difference in what we're viewing, legacy versus new. Panel, take it away.
Yeah, looking at this, and of course, Scott Adams, I hope he has peace as he continues on. The thing about this is there was probably an overstepping of what is polite to do in society for a very long time, and there were a lot of people who took advantage of people wanting to be polite, and there was a realization that the more emotional, the more unacceptable you pretend like things that disagree with you are, the more that the other side will just say, well, we're going to be polite. We're going to, we're not going to get in your face. We're just wanting to get through our day. I understand that you think that all of the things that, I do in my life are unacceptable. And you want to imply that even me being a religious person means that I don't think you should exist or something ridiculous like that. I think at some point they realized that the thing that happened is a lot of people woke up.
Marvin, I'll give you the final word on this. There's peace in the Middle East. The legacy and the new media could not be farther apart on it. Complete and total opposites. Who's going to win this thing in the end of the day when it comes to the way the market receives it?
Well, at the end of the day, you have to look at the results and the reality of the situation. And the legacy media, this is not a story that they can bury. This isn't something that they can gloss over. This is peace in the Middle East. I mean, this is one of the things that was always considered like a pipe dream, from so many presidents who have tried and failed before. And you have to lay the credit down at the current administration that helped broker this peace deal. They're not going to be able to get away with not doing it. I saw Joe Scarborough and Morning Joe have to give him his flowers for it. So I think that they're just going to have to suck it up and give him his credit on this one, or they're going to risk sacrificing the last bit of credibility that they have left. Because at the end of the day, people can see with their own eyes what's going on. And if they want anyone to have any trust in them whatsoever, they cannot possibly try to spin something that is unspinnable.
Right. The fascinating one that I see is, Joe Biden laid the groundwork. I'm like, no. He left the military technology on the ground that probably ended up slowing down this process even more. So no, thank you.
I expect Rachel Zegler to be at the White House any day now. Her and Gal Gadot together, with her saying she's so happy for the Orange Man. As ever, folks, we endeavor to have a good time here on the Pro Channel, and I have to say that spending time with you, talking about things that truly matter, like the stories that shape our lives and our culture, well, it is the ride of a lifetime to steal from Bob Iger. And that's the only thing we'll steal from Bob, because he has great security around his yacht. Folks, as we get ready to say goodbye, consider clicking the like button, share, subscribe, click it, and stick it to the algorithms. It is the notification bell. Drop a comment right on down below. Let us know your thoughts. We would love to hear from you. And folks, worry not, for more content is still on the way. 3 or 4 times a day, let's do 4. I think that's better. And you know what? Don't forget that the Pro Show is live Tuesdays and Thursdays at noon Eastern. You can also join us for our friends on That Park Place, our partner program. We have a good time there too. Folks, until the next time we get the opportunity to have a good time with you, keep learning, keep growing, and as ever, keep having fun.
Jump into the water.
Why listen to music made by people and companies who really don't like you? Check out Vacation Radio today and prepare for all new content made by the people behind the WDW Pro channel. It's the place you need for all the music. That should be fun.
Want it all, so I give them cannonball. Yeah!
Hundreds of songs, every genre you can imagine. Listen live on YouTube and enjoy a set list that's always sunny. It's Vacation Radio.
Arizona. Pineapple pizza, Hawaiian ice freeze, yeah. Can't wait to be up. 3 days of you and me.
What are you waiting for? Every WDW Pro video has a link to Vacation Radio in the video description. Try it out and subscribe today.